This is the latest project I finished here. This is a 1966 Bridgestone SR90 Production Racer. And these, I believe, were the first production racers Bridgestone sold in the U.S., I think. They were based mostly on, stock production line parts that were, somewhat modified and matched together to make this configuration. And the engine was, kind of lightly modified. They went to a 18 millimeter carb versus the 17 that was standard on a 90, Sport 90. They modified the rotary valve, give it better port timing. Increased the compression by milling the head and adding the expansion chamber. And also removing the flywheel from the magneto and just going with a constant loss battery ignition. And these modifications raised the output from the 8.8 horsepower of a standard Sport 90 to about 12 horsepower. And as far as I know, they first sold these in the U.S. in 1966. Now the next year, in 1967, they went with the Sport 100. This is a bike I restored some years ago. And the bigger changes you can see in this engine are the Sandcast special clutch cover and carburetor cover and air cleaner there, which allowed the use of a bigger carburetor, 22 millimeters, as opposed to the 18, which wouldn't fit inside the cases of the standard 90, which you see here. And with those same modifications and the bigger carburetor, the horsepower was up to 15 horsepower on this SR100. And then they continued selling these until they quit. Don't know how many they sold in the U.S. Quite a few, I think. I see them every now and then. Somebody's got one. Otherwise, the two bikes are pretty much the same thing. I don't think there's any difference in suspension. Seat's the same, tank's the same. They also made the 175 Twin as an SR. And I've got videos of a couple of those also on YouTube. These were sold, from Bridgestone, ready to race, just in the same condition you see these two here. I've been collecting and repairing parts for this little bike for, 7 or 8 years. When I finally got all that stuff together, it only took me about 3 months to put it together, but kind of hard to find any of these in their special parts in decent condition. You have to end up repairing a lot of stuff. This is the original seat that came with this bike, but boy, it was in terrible shape, including the pan all bent up. Took a lot of work to rehabilitate that.